Baby.
I'm dying.
That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Left, feet left.
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
All right, what is up, fam? We are back. Another episode of the Weekly Roundup. I'm your host, as always, Steve Rochelle, being joined by this goofball next to me, Mr. Zachary Burzak. What is up, my friend? How you feeling today?
Mad at everybody, mad at the world. Dude, I literally hate this place. I'm going to form my own planet, not even my own country, my own planet. I just hate it here. Everything about it, I hate it here. Did Pittsburgh win, by the way?
I wasn't checking up on college football this afternoon, brother. I was running around doing all kinds of crazy stuff.
Go. Okay.
Hell, one of our former guests already won one of his fights tonight. Pat Sabatini's won. I think Sean Brady just got the decision over Siesa. So how's your betting degeneracy going there, my friend?
Well, that's all I was trying to check on. It was all good. I was arguing with people on Facebook, so I didn't really see, I guess, what the things I probably should have been kept up to date. The Knicks won, so that's good. Okay, I think we're pretty good right now. Everything's rolling pretty good, to my knowledge. Let me go in and check officially, and I'll let you know. And you handle, EXP Realty, Alan obviously coming on tonight and all that, and I'll go check, and I'll let you know when I come back what my betting thing is.
Yeah, all right. But speaking of which, obviously, speaking of Alan, obviously the show is brought to you by EXP Realty LLC. So if you're looking to buy or sell a home, you're looking to change your career brokerage, contact our boy Alan Foy of EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit him at Alan Foy at exprealty.com. But let's get into some football talk and things of that nature, man. But before that, obviously, for our poll question is sponsored by Patty Wax, and they invite you to contribute to their Fill Abundance campaign. Everything that we're doing with our Money Pot guys for everything. So make sure you're heading and checking out Patty Wax, and that poll question is these Philadelphia Eagles. Obviously, the hard part of it is behind us. The rough part of the schedule, me and you talked about, heading into the season. They had to get through it at, relatively at a certain record. They're just kind of a little bit behind that to kind of contend for a division. But, what are you feeling if looking at the schedule, looking at the teams that are coming down the pipeline, what could or should happen? Do you think this team could win 6 of the next 7 and finish with, a 10-7 record? How are you feeling on that one, Zach?
Can you hear me at the moment?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me. I don't like us to go 10-7. I mean, that means we're going 6-1 the rest of the way. I mean, we might go 5-2 at best, but this idea that we're gonna, great. We haven't won a game at home yet. We haven't beat really a good football team where you look and go, wow, what a good football team that team is. This is all smoke and mirrors, and I can't stand the fact. This is one of the things I'm fired up about, that 2 weeks ago we're having a conversation. It's nothing like this, and now all of a sudden here we are 2 weeks later because we beat a 500 Broncos team, and it's all of a sudden the conversation has changed, sort of thing. We beat a 500 Broncos team and Jalen looks, it's one of the best games he's had all year. And now all of a sudden we're having this conversation like we could be a Super Bowl team next year and sneak into the playoffs this year. And I feel like Jim Mora talking about playoffs. What? Playoffs? You kidding me? Playoffs? Come on, Steven.
Listen, me and you have been hard on this team all season long, but obviously we were going through the harder part of it. I'm looking at what's ahead of us. You got both Washington twice. You got the Giants twice. You have the Jets in there. We play a banged up Saints team. The only really tough task that's ahead of you is Dallas, the last game of the season, which could almost mean nothing to them at that point in time. If they have everything locked up, it could just be a thing about that. And remember, when we were coming into this, I was just under that 10-win total. So I'm asking, I'm just going above what I was even feeling, what this team was looking like. So
did Sean Brady win?
Yeah, I told you just won, bro.
Oh, see, okay, that's the part I was looking at my bet. See, I didn't hear that part. Okay, so one of my bets hit, Steven. Now I think we just need the Atlanta Hawks to win, and we're all good. We're going to win both bets, I believe.
There you go, brother.
Hey, we'll be in good shape there.
Philly's 2-0 tonight for the UFC. You got to love it.
The Hawks are up 3 points against the Hornets. The Hornets are on a back-to-back. So, I took the Hawks thinking that's good play there. But, yeah, I mean, we're already up some money for the day. It's a good day, Steven. Been a good day. Sean Brady, shout out to our man Money Moss, Nate Moss on the Money Moss podcast, because the Money Pop podcast, because he gave me the Sean Brady pick. I rode with the Sean Brady pick and a couple of his college football picks today, and we made some money.
Gotta do it. Gotta love the Brady pick too. I told you to take.
Yeah,
I told you to take Sab too earlier this afternoon too. Don't forget that one. I don't know if you took.
How you gonna can't go against the Philly guy. You can't go against the Philly guy or the South Jersey guy. Whatever,
Sean should be the top 10 ranked guy next. That was a nice win. We'll see. Where does that put him? In the rankings after they come out tomorrow or Monday. However it comes out. But again, this football team, things. Obviously. Little stuff to unpack. We kind of felt like.
Let's be realistic, Steven. Do we want to be optimistic or realistic?
God.
Well, do we want to be optimistic or realistic?
Well, I think we have a little bit of both in our fan base right now.
You can't have both. You're going to give me one. We can have an optimistic conversation and then a realistic conversation, Steven. Maybe we should have the optimistic one first. And then we could be realistic and just let all those, those people in this fan base down gently, who happen to think. Alan says he hasn't gotten the link yet, so we need to send Alan the link. Make sure Ralphie sends him the link. But he just messaged me to tell me that. But listen, the optimistic conversation. Of course, you could win 6 of the next 7 and finish at 10-7, right? Of course, you could. But I think people look at the schedule and they go, what? We got an easy schedule the rest of the way. The only team I look at and go, yeah, we should beat that team and definitely beat that team is the Jets. That's the only team on this schedule. I do like us tomorrow against the Saints. Vegas really likes us tomorrow against the Saints now that they're all banged up. The game's in Philly. The Saints are banged up. The line has swung a little bit, and Philly's now a bit more of a favorite than they were to start. I think we were a 1-point favorite at the start, and now it's up to 3. So Vegas seems to have grown with the idea that the Eagles should win that game. But this idea, we've got 2 games against the Giants, 2 against the Washington No Names, and 1 against Dallas. That's what I'm calling them from now on. They're the Washington No Names. We got 2 against the Giants, 2 against the No Names, and 1 against Dallas. And then mixed in there's the game against the Jets. Yeah, you should beat the Jets. Of course you should beat the Jets. Although watch something fluky and weird happen with that game just because that's the game you should win sort of thing, right? But the Giants played Kansas City tough. The Giants it's not like the Giants have been awful this year, right? The Giants, they played Green Bay tough, I believe, on prime time, if I'm not mistaken. There's been I know there's a couple games where you looked at and went, wow, you know what? They looked really good on prime time in that game. They maybe didn't win, but they lost to Kansas City by a field goal, right? You're all right, they're right there. They played teams tough. I'm not just going in there against the Giants and thinking I'm gonna, we're better than the Giants. We beat them. That's no, that was a win. Chalk it up as a win right now. Stop. We do that every year and then watch. So you go play the Giants and it's a dogfight and you get smacked in the mouth a little bit and it's not as easy as you thought it was going to be. We did that last year with Daniel Jones and it took ghost tackling him at the 20-yard line to prevent, to help us with that game, right? We got tackled by the 20-yard line And I think we went on to win that game, which is crazy because literally that was the difference. He could have ran it for a touchdown and he didn't because he tripped over the 20-yard line. And it was the difference in the football game. But those are going to be two tough games. Washington, those are two tough games. Washington just beat Tampa. Come on now. You know what I mean? We're just going to look at Washington. Oh, we should beat them. Yeah, I guess maybe we should, but they just beat Tampa. So are they that bad? No.
All right. Well, we got our first member comment. So speaking of our members, if you make sure you guys are hopping on YouTube and joining our A2D memberships. Only $9.99 a month. Perks include appearances on the show, member only stream, shout outs with weekly sports picks from the Money Putt guys that Zach's making some money off of tonight. Willie Vegas, we got our giveaways that are doing, and that comment is from our good guy Nick there. He wants to know, what teams do you have us losing to, Zach? How about that one?
We lose one to the Giants and one to Washington. So those two losses. That's why I say 5-2 at best. Realistically, I think we probably go 4-3 in those final 7, and that's not terrible. You finish 8-9, which is right where we kind of talked about. At the beginning of the year, 8-9 wins, right? But if you win 5 instead of 4, you're at 9 wins. So still, 4-3 or 5-2 gets me to that 8-9 win mark that I talked about, where we could win 8 or 9 games. That's kind of where my feel was with this team. We're not, I didn't think we were terrible, but I knew we were good. And there was just going to be some things there that especially early on, we were really spot on with the early schedule. I mean, literally almost nailed it. There was maybe one game in there where we went, oh wow, that didn't go the way we thought. But we thought 2-6 or 3-5, and I think it was 3-5, right? And it turned out to be 4-6 now to start. So, you go 4-3 the rest of the way, 8-9. Listen, that's not. People want to sit there and be like, oh, how could you say that? Rookie head coach. For a lot of guys, I went, oh, rookie quarterback. All right, we and you both know Jalen's not a rookie quarterback, but rookie head coach, young coaching staff, young quarterback. Young offensive line that's kind of working the way in and looking really promising right now. There's a lot of things with this team where at the end of the year, if you look back and go, hey, we went 8-9 in the first year under Nick Sirianni after all the bitching that we did about Nick Sirianni to start this year, that's a pretty damn good year, is it not? I mean, how many, we went 7-9 in Doug Peterson's first year, right? And there was a lot of ups and downs and we bitched about a lot of things and you just realized, hey, it is what it is. And it's the talent's not all there. We're building, it's growing. You can see it, but you could see the growth throughout the year. That's where we're kind of at right now with this Eagles team, is you're starting to see the growth throughout the year. Everybody's really fired up about Jalen and how he looked in the Denver game. Baby steps, that's better than nothing, right? Like you said, he seemed to show the ability to want to hang into a clean pocket a little bit longer, not bail out and just scramble out of a clean pocket.
I mean, I just thought like some of the things that both me and you been hard on Jalen, we seen some progression in that game. Now, Granted, let's take that with a grain of salt. It was the Denver game. I thought, and some of the things that you were hard on him about, like not throwing guys open. I thought that,
it's not throwing guys open.
The one the Watkins that he dropped, I thought that's one of the things I like that was something I want to see.
That's
and
fair.
And the
Sure,
throw and the first touchdown of Devontae Smith, I thought that was another big time throw for him where he needed to make that one. Now, granted, it wasn't spot on. It wasn't accurate. And even Devontae kind of missed it a little bit. It hit him in the helmet, but he got his feet in. He made the play. But like I said, what are you taking out of that game, and what do you want to see moving forward? To sit there and say that you don't want to go after another quarterback in free agency or in the draft this year. What do you want to see this year to give him another year?
Well, he needs to finish the year strong. That's what bothers me about these people that went all of a sudden 2 weeks ago. He wasn't a franchise quarterback. To we've got people at this at this station. I think the guy might own the place. I'm not sure. He might. He just might own the place, or something. I think he's a pretty big deal in these parts. But going from Jalen's a noodle arm that's not a franchise QB to let's give him another year and he's earned it. All right, I'm with you. He looked good, and if it continues to trend in this way, I'm with you there too. But you still got 7 games left in the season to see how things play out. And it's not like I've been on the record saying that I'm opposed to him having another year next year, right? I've just said all my options are open. I'm not committing to anything. All my options are on the table. That's what happens when you have 3 first-round picks. So,
right,
there's a lot of things there. But, I think we need to pump the brakes a little bit. I let that fun with Tom. Tom's not like on this, oh, he's Russell Wilson now bandwagon. Although there's some people that are, once again, right back onto that bandwagon. See what I mean? I told you he could be Kyler Murray and Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson all wrapped into one. I told you were smoking crack and you still are. Okay.
All right, so let's get to this first comment and that our sponsors brought to you by All Campus, and that's 20% off everything in the store, including hats, t-shirts, team cornhole sets. For all the subscribers, make sure you're using that A2D code. And first comment hopping in here. Sonny McMuffin, gotta love that name.
Sonny McMuffin. This is is this my old family member that used to go to dinners with me at Christmas? Is he got another new name? Are we being trolled again by my cousin or something?
Same offensive strategy. Run the ball. Let the field open up for her in the pocket. Defense needs to stay aggressive. Hopefully, again, it doesn't go back to the his old ways.
That's all fair, but that's also part of when I talk about, if we talk about, is Jalen a franchise quarterback? None of us ever said you can't win with Jalen.
Nick feels he's already proven he should get to the extra year. Honestly, I don't. I need to see a little bit more and it's not even. Go ahead, brother. What do you want to say?
Well, I felt like I knew where you were about to go with. It's not even about like seeing a little bit more as much as just about keeping your options open. Like, if Seattle comes to you in the offseason and says, hey, we'll give you Russell Wilson for Jalen and 2 first-round picks, and you tell them no because I want to see another year of Jalen, I'm going to punch you in your face. Like, are you out of your mind? Like, what is wrong with you? Like, that? Come on now. Like stop. Like, let's, again, keep your options open. Now, if you want to tell me you're not going to draft another quarterback at this point, if it comes down to having to draft another quarterback, or roll with Jalen. I might roll with Jalen for another year, but I'm still keeping my options. We'll give you Derek Carr for Jalen Hurts and a first-round pick. Oh, I still have 2 other first-round picks now, and I've got Derek Carr as my quarterback? Yeah, you can sign me up. What's it? Oh, Fletcher Cox? You want Fletcher Cox in that deal too? Okay, yeah, that's cool. You can have him. Okay, that's fine. So I got Derek Carr for Fletcher Cox, a first-round pick, and Jalen Hurts. Yeah, sure. Cool. Now I got 2 other first-round picks to go add some fucking talent to this team and a way better quarterback than I currently have. Like, I'm okay with the idea of him getting another year, but to sit here and say that, well, he's earned that, bullshit. People don't earn nothing. Like, what does he earn? They're 4-6. What has he earned? They haven't won a game at home. Like, come on now. What, he's earned it?
All right, so Nick's coming back. So he's saying it's not even the fact that he's proven it. Just we don't have many options. Maybe
how do you know that?
The draft? Hell no. Aaron want to come here. Watson's probably going to go to Miami. We've already.
You don't know any of this. What? You're just listening to talking heads like Skip Bayless. Like,
I understand it, but Nick, me and Zach have laid out multiple different options of the way they go. And even some of the draft guys that could be under the radar, that could very well be Jalen's backup next year or potential replacement. Otherwise.
Hey, if Howie's being fair, he's got to draft a quarterback in the 2nd round this year just to make Jalen feel uncomfortable and light a fire under his ass, doesn't he? Like, doesn't he? You got to do it. Like Sammy Howell from UNC or something. Like, just draft somebody that here you go. Like, just like I did the Carson. Now you got to deal with it, you fucking piece of shit. Here. And we all know the only piece of shit here is Howie, but that's how Howie's going to think. Like, number on a piece of paper. Fuck yeah.
Are they going at it in the chat room right now? He's like, I can tell him Nick's a Jalen.
Yeah, you can tell. You're right. See, yeah, but you can sniff them out. I'm with you. You can tell these fanboys. See, you don't even deny it. See how he doesn't even deny it? You can tell those fanboys. Yeah, they're easy to sniff out.
Oh man, love it. Listen, hey dude, my kid jumped on the fan wagon fast as hell. I call him out on it all the time that he turned on Carson fast as hell. I'm like, listen, I like what I seen, in that Denver game. They're still. Sure. I'm with you that they're still doing things to kind of protect him a little bit.
But Steven, and we've said this from the beginning because we look at a guy like Lamar Jackson who's electric and like Jalen Hurts couldn't, in Jalen Hurts' dreams, he's not the player that Lamar Jackson is, right? He just doesn't have that explosive athleticism. But we still say this about Lamar, and it's kind of been one of those things that until this year, it hasn't been able to, escape him, and he's maybe finally starting to shed that. But the idea that, you got to be able to throw the ball and beat teams with your arms, and if you can't run the ball and they shut down your legs, I need you to throw the ball 40 times and beat somebody. Can Jalen throw the ball 40 times and beat you? No. I mean, right now the answer is no. We know for a stone cold fact that if Jalen has to throw the ball 40 times a game, at this very moment, you cannot win with Jalen Hurts having to throw the ball 40 times a game and carrying you on his back. Everything's fine and dandy when you're running the ball and Jordan Howard can run for 100 yards, and you're like, man, but
Blue City
Jordan Howard's
Blue City's already got the comment of the week right there.
Successfully every game, sort of thing. Is Boston Scott going to have that sort of success?
Exactly. Blue City's already got the comment of the week for us already because I'm sick of hearing the NFL stats. Sick of hearing it. Comparing him to this, comparing him That's all nonsense though too. That's all nonsense though too, because that's how you end up in a Tim Tebow was a good NFL quarterback conversation because he went 6-1 one year with Denver and led them to the playoffs. Like, who cares? Like, really? Like, at the end of the day, someone sitting there I still seen someone pumping out the Tim Tebow flag the other day. I don't know who. I forget where I seen it.
I know, but it's weird. It's so fucking weird. We do this in this country with everything, politics included. Like, we pick the weirdest piece of shit people to fucking become cult followers of. Like, good Lord. Like, why are you do you really think Tim Tebow gives a fuck about you? Why are you flying a Tim Tebow flag? You fucking weirdo. Good Lord.
All right. But
I know somebody, I've got a neighbor that still has like a Bill Clinton flag or from the 90s when he was a fucking president. Like, they got like one of them fucking stickers that you used to put on your fridge or something. Like, it's fucking weird. Like, that was like 25 years ago. It's like people that still the people do that with athletes that they still worship. Like, yeah, I get it. Like, Randall Cunningham was awesome. It was also 30 years ago. Grow up. Oh, by the way, speaking of growing up, and I'll let you move on, the people comparing Jalen Hurts to Donovan McNabb, grow up. Do yourself a favor and jump off the bed, Franklin. You guys are a bunch of idiots.
Who was doing it now? Is it someone new this week? Is that why they're coming up? Or
well, you know how it is in this fan base. One moron says it, and the other morons jump on, and then next thing you know, you've got a bunch of stupid people in large groups. And you know what they say, never underestimate the power of stupid people in large groups. And that's what happened. An idiot like Elliot Shore Parks brings up some Jalen Hurts, Donovan McNabb comparison. And next thing you know, we have idiots in the fan base are on board with it.
We have a rebuttal to the Derek Carr one. He was like, don't act like people weren't calling for his job a few years ago. And
nobody was realistically calling for Derek Carr's job at any point in the past few years. They've had 2 playoff appearances in the past 20 years, and the only one that's happened in the past 15 was Derek Carr when Jack Del Rio was their head coach. So if anything, you could say they made the wrong decision when they fired Jack Del Rio after going 12-4 and making the playoffs. They haven't really done anything. But they made the playoffs twice since 2003. And the only 2003 was the last time they made the playoff. 2002 was the last time they made the playoffs, right? That's when they went to the Super Bowl. Then the only time since then that they made it was when Derek Carr took them in 4 years ago, 2017, whatever the fuck it was. And I know the point was brought up a few weeks ago. Well, he never played in a playoff game. Who cares? I know he broke his fucking knee 2 games to go in the regular season. Doesn't mean he didn't lead them to a 12-4 record. So this idea that people calling for his job, nonsense. Nobody was realistically calling for his job. They're the only. He's made them relevant again. Let's be honest. The Raiders were irrelevant. They drafted Derek Carr and became relevant again. So, miss me with that. Again, that's one of those you listen to Skip Bayless and too many of these talking heads that don't form your own opinion sort of shit.
All right, so you're not going to find that here, Blue City. I'm going to tell you this right now. All right, he says he could tell for a fact that some Eagles fan are heated when Jalen Hurts got drafted. A lot of us were like, what? On air, a lot of us were feeling that way. Got you. But all of a sudden they're saying he's the best quarterback, whoever, shaking my head. Listen, and then that's some of the stuff that me and Zach talk about a lot, the overreaction to things. we're seeing people already flipping on like, oh, we're good with this now. We're good with this now. I mean, we don't know. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks if this kid can kind of buy himself some time. I think in order for you to kind of do that, they have to have more than 9 wins in order for them to kind of give him that other season, that sophomore year, so to speak. Things that Tommy was talking about, whereas like the big thing for high school and collegiate athletes that third year.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair argument. Again, for me, it's all coming down to what happens in the offseason. You keep your options open. If you like something, Russell Wilson and this deal popped up, or Derek Carr and that deal popped up.
I agree to that aspect of it. I agree to that.
It's your chance. Here's your chance.
I agree to that aspect of it, Jack. Like where if something's put upon you just because you feel good with this guy to not shun it away. Yeah,
and I think you do that in general. Like you're doing that with anything. Like. You know what I'm saying? Like that's any position with any player. Like you just keep an open mind. This idea that he has like the only way he like is if he leads us to the playoffs, then yeah, he gets another year. Like there's no questions asked. Then I'm not even talking about trades in the offseason. You've 100% earned the right to be able to go and be the guy next year, and let's see what happens. But I mean, look at all the teams ahead of us. Like, and we're talking about teams we got to pass in the wild card. Like teams like Minnesota. Minnesota's the only team in football that's had a 7-point lead in every game they've played this year, and they're still like 5-5 or whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, is that type of shit going to continue? Like this idea, are we better than Minnesota? No.
All right, so now that we got to go to some other Eagles things that happened over the week. Obviously, whatever referee did not call the flag on the freaking Dallas Goedert freaking hit.
Okay, see, I'll argue with you here because I went back and watched that hit after you told me that, and I disagree. But finish your point.
But one of the things that we're gonna have to worry about with this kid is we just signed him no contract, and the thing is, he is probably a top 10, tight end when he's on the field.
Absolutely, especially when he's the number one guy.
And he's definitely, like in my opinion, looking to be like an Ertz 2.0 in my opinion. Not a bad thing per se in any way, but got to keep him on the field. Are you good with that contract and happy with the extension?
Yeah, I mean, we knew when they traded Ertz, this is what was going to happen. They were going to re-sign one of them. I thought it was going to be more. I actually thought they were going to have to pay him more money. So I'm actually okay with the deal because it actually sounds, pretty solid from a team standpoint. The hit, as far as the hit that everybody's mad about, you're allowed to hit guys helmet to helmet as long as you're not launching. Like quarterbacks, you can't hit helmet to helmet for whatever stupid reason, but they don't like the helmet to helmet when you like leave your feet and you launch into a guy. That's not what happened. I mean, I understand we're not happy because it hurt the guy, but according to the NFL rulebook, that's not an illegal hit. And like the NFL, they even came out and defended the officials not calling a flag on it this week, and they said, yeah, that's not illegal. Like that's not a penalty. I know we're upset about it. We think it should be because it's helmet to helmet, but you've got to understand the context of helmet to helmet. Just like with a quarterback, once he starts running, and if a quarterback runs out of the pocket and gets hit helmet to helmet, they'll say, oh, well, he's a runner at that point. He's not protected. Exactly. You can get hit helmet to helmet as long as it's not done in an illegal way, which means you didn't launch yourself, you didn't leave your feet and fly into a guy, that type of thing. I really didn't. When I looked at the hit, I didn't think it was illegal. Like the first time I watched it, I was like, I don't think that's a penalty. And then I watched it multiple times after that just to make sure. And I'm like, I still don't think it's a penalty. So I know there's Eagles fans upset about it, I even reached out to a couple football officials that I know that they referee high school football and things like that. I know a lot of, obviously guys that I umpire baseball with, and a lot of them do multiple sports. I'm like, hey, because they taught me pass interference. A lot of times we want pass interference against the defensive back. And what they taught me is if the receiver and the defensive back are both fighting with their hands, there's no foul. There's never that's never supposed to be a penalty. So you'll see the defensive back grab the receiver a lot of times, and there'll be why wasn't there a penalty there? And if you go back and watch the replay, you'll realize, look at the receiver using his hands and fighting back against the defensive back as well, and you realize, oh, okay, that's why they didn't throw a penalty, because there's no foul there. So I try to keep those things in perspective and not just watch these games with emotion. And I didn't think the Goedert hit was a foul. It was unfortunate. I just didn't think it was a foul. And, that is what it is. But, people are going to disagree. And it's, it is what it is. But, I feel like I'm in the minority on that one, which is good. It leads to some good debate. I'm sure we're going to have people here in the chat room that are going to tell me I'm an idiot here in a minute. So, all good.
All right. What about Avonte Maddox contract? So now we got I think it was like 4 guys from that 2018 draft that are now locked up here for the next 3 or 4 years.
And my point with Howie, when people talk, and I always talk about what's my biggest deal with Howie. What do I always say about Howie that I hate the most? That he's a weasel, and I feel like his relationship with people sucks. He doesn't have a good relationship with any of the people. And when you're a GM, you kind of need to be a people person that understands how to build relationships. And I think he's a weasel that doesn't do that, and people don't trust him. People that rip him for his drafting, I get it, but I also think it's a little bit unfair. And here's an example of it. We've got 4 guys from the 2018 draft class that are now locked up long term. How bad of a draft could that have really been if we've got 4 guys locked up long term? And the Maddox deal,
isn't that his MO? He locks his own guys up a little.
Oh, that's a great deal.
And then
3 years, $23 million.
I know. I like I said, I'm not gonna knock him because like it's on you. You have to do these are guys you have to lock up and secure. I like Avonte Maddox on this team, his role and his production so far. Couldn't ask for anything better right now from him in that spot. On the field, off the field for Dallas. I still feel he's our best option. That they're a tight end, no matter where you're going to look around at. So I have no problem with it. We'll see if he winds up putting himself in the position, because like I said, where he gets in trouble, and I'm talking about Howie's, where he signs these guys up because they're your homegrown guys, and you have to lock them up before they either get out there or they wind up on other teams or whatever. And sometimes you get locked in these things, and you're coming back and have to restructure things because you're trying to make X move or Y move or whatever, or you're having to get rid of them because they're not who. You're not who you thought you were, and you're stuck with this cap hit because of X, Y, and Z. So we'll see if these guys are who
we thought they were, Steven.
What's up? What's up, Eagles Uncensored? How you feeling tonight? Are we still? We're still on this.
Them throwing flowers at Nick should be the new one. Like, we should be like, these are the same people that flew a bouquet of flowers at their head coach. But you know what? Like, the fact that he got mad about that, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? You're in blue-collar Philadelphia, and you mentioned the roots and flowers, and you didn't think something like this was going to happen? Like, I could just imagine some hardcore Philadelphia Italian being like, hey, Nick, I got your flowers right here. Throwing them at him, smacking him in the face. Take that, you piece of shit. Like, that's total Philadelphia. Like, what the hell does this guy think was going to happen? Like, you fucking moron. Like, of course somebody was going to do that. Somebody should have thrown a bouquet of roses at you and smacked you across the face with the thorns, and, like, I would have sliced your jugular, died on the field, and Philadelphia fans would have actually had the audacity to cheer about it. Then we really would have gotten a bad fucking rep. Oh, he's dying on the field. Look at this asshole.
All right, we're gonna touch on some NFL news. Touch on this week's game, and then we're gonna switch gears to basketball.
Oh, I thought you were going to talk about Antonio Brown.
Oh, we are. Oh,
okay. I thought that's where we were going.
That's the NFL news I wanted to ask you about. So, apparently, the NFL is a little lax on some things, and he was able to obtain a fake vaccination card.
Steven, you know what my whole thoughts on this entire my thoughts on this entire story. My biggest takeaway is, man, you needed to be paying that chef more money. What the hell's wrong with you? You obviously weren't paying him enough. He went and threw your ass right under the bus. Oh yeah, hey, here's an extra $20,000 a year to not say shit. I'm sure that motherfucker would have been real quiet, but man, did this to yourself. All you had to do was write a little bigger of a personal check.
Hey, remember how I was paying you 80 grand a year? How's like 110 a year sound? Oh, okay. Good for you. I get to call you G as well, Jeffrey from the Fresh Prince.
Love it. Love it.
It's in the contract. But seriously, that's my biggest takeaway. I don't give a fuck that he got a fake vaccine. Vaccination cards are all nonsense to begin with. They're as much nonsense as gun laws are. It's all bullshit. But, the fuck? You got to understand the people in your corner and the people that aren't and who to watch your back with. You got to slide a little bit of extra money to bribe somebody to keep them quiet, make it all hush-hush. Come on, man. The mob taught us that a long time ago, Steven. You got mob connections. Or do you? I'm just saying, you get how it works.
Yeah, you don't piss off somebody in your own camp to the
right. You know what? He must have done something, right? You know what I'm saying? Something must have really happened. He said something really disrespectful to that chef. Something happened to piss the chef off to be like, you know what? Fuck you. I'm about to go throw your ass right under the bus to the NFL. I got Roger Goodell's number right here on speed dial. I'll call that motherfucker tomorrow. I'm waiting to ruin a man's career.
No, I don't think Nick's that petty, thankfully, because then he really would been in some trouble.
I don't think. Nick Sirianni looks like a low core, hard, I bet you Nick Sirianni can handle himself. I bet you he could. Low key, he looked like one of them dudes that is like me. People think, Zach's just this tall, skinny looking motherfucker. I beat his ass. Then you get in a fight with me and you realize, oh damn, fuck, he about to fuck me up. You better be careful. I wouldn't be surprised if Sirianni could handle himself. He's a little bit weird, but remember the kids in school that you always had to worry about the most. Them weird, socially awkward ones. Those are the ones that always had to worry the most about. I'm telling you, he got serial killer vibes written all over him. I wouldn't fuck with that dude. Fuck him.
Hey man, and then the other side of this is that's the least of the craziest of the NFL news that happened this week, because you got the crazy nonsense that happened with Zach Scott, the sickening video that comes out, and then you have your freaking the judge there, but basically throws him nothing on the bail for this guy. It's just the whole situation's kind of freaking nutty.
Yeah, that good Lord. I mean, it's just I literally forgot who the dude was for a minute. That was my first. Zach Stacy. I literally had to think really hard to remember who the fuck he even was as a player. But I mean, good God.
I'm gonna say, it's crazy for me, on different levels.
Save that question for when Alan gets here. Whoever.
Yeah. We'll have to. Yeah, I know, right? We'll have to come back to that one.
It really feels like the scene from The Simpsons where Bart's prank calling Mo with fake names. Is there a Mr. Ontiveros there? First name Iden?
Oh man, yeah. But for me, it's crazy because I've had a mother who's had to deal with domestic violence. I've seen some things I probably shouldn't have seen and things of that nature. So it has a different effect and meaning on me when you see things like that, and and they're basically he's still able to walk around, and you see other cases where
he'll get what's coming to him in prison. People like him, they don't prison. These guys that are in prison for 20 plus years, they love when people like him come into prison. Oh, they love it. Oh, yeah. You like to make people your bitch. I'll make you my bitch real fucking quick. But that was kind of my takeaway. Is not obviously he's a piece of shit, obviously. But when you think about it, I think it speaks to the bigger picture of some of these professional athletes and just how they think, as far as they have all the power. They're unstoppable. They're invincible. They can get away with whatever they want to get away with. Bitch, you better do what the fuck I tell you to do and get in that kitchen and make me a sandwich because I fucking told you to, sort of thing. And if you don't, I smack you the fuck around because nobody can do a fucking thing about it. That mentality is more of a problem to me than anything else, because I think, we saw we went through this with Ray Rice, 10 years ago, right? And it was one of those things where you went, man, Why wasn't this, and Kareem, Kareem Hunt, beating the shit out of that girl in the fucking, hotel room, shortly after he was drafted by Kansas City. And, things like that. We got Tom yelling at us in the chat here now, in a private chat. I know, Tom. I was having connection issues. I'm with you. I don't know what to tell you. Like, the fuck? Like, I try to log in with my phone and get things going correctly. Sometimes things happen and you get a couple minutes off and holy hell. I didn't know 5 minutes was that big of a deal. Good Lord. But, big picture, yeah. I mean, for me, I'm worried about this mentality that I see with professional athletes across all sports where you look at it and go, this seems to be way too common of a thing where they just think they can do shit like this, get away with it. There's no consequences because they feel like there's a certain power that comes with their role, as a professional athlete, that they're, that they've now gotten to a certain level in their profession where they've become invincible to, any of this backlash that, that can, happen because of their actions. And that's the biggest problem for me. Like, beat the shit out of somebody, you're a piece of shit. Beat the shit out of your girl, like you're a piece of shit. But doing it, like, under this impression that, I can do that and get away with it. And, there's nothing that, can be done about it. I've just got that level of entitlement about me as a professional athlete. That's concerning to me. The league, ban these dudes forever. Like, if you got to do something, I don't know, do something where it's got to be so hardcore where, like, you get caught up in any type of domestic violence of any kind and you're banned forever. It's like a permanent lifetime ban from the league or something. If that's what you got to do, then do it. But baseball too. I mean, Odubel Herrera and situations like that, right? Like, whatever you got to do to make it a thing where it's like a no nonsense policy, figure it out. Just do it. Deal with the cause and effect afterwards. If the players' unions and things like that are unhappy about it, but something's got to, something's got to change there as far as the leagues and their ability to police that, right? I mean, it's their business.
A slippery slope, but like
these guys are there.
It's a slippery slope, but it's one of these things that like you have to take seriously. That's all. But let's not dwell on that one too much longer. Let's kind of give our last thoughts on what we think is going to go down. Tomorrow against the New Orleans Saints. How you feeling about this game now? Obviously, we felt it was going to be a close one that, would be, within 3 points that, they would fall short. But obviously, they had everything under control last week in Denver. Want to put a nice win together. Can they duplicate that here again against the Saints this week?
Jesus Christ. If we're going to get, like, scolded, can we wait till the show's over before we get scolded? Good Lord.
Come on, dude. Really? Stop.
I mean, I got to pop it up as you're asking me questions, and now I got to sit here and deal with these types of things live on the air. As if, like,
who cares? Let's go.
Well, I didn't even hear your question. What's your question?
The game. What are you feeling about for the Saints game, brother?
Well, I think at this point we should win. The Saints are banged up, and it seems like momentum-wise, when you look at how the teams have been playing, we're trending in the right direction. The Saints have kind of been, hit and miss, hot and cold, depending on the week. They're banged up and really banged up, not just like banged up a little bit, but banged up in a lot of really important areas. And it's something that it's disappointing if you lose this game, I guess, at this point, knowing what the situation is with the Saints and what the injury issues are for them. I don't think we're good enough for us to sit here and be confident and say, hey, we're going to win this game. I'm not even worried about it, sort of thing. The Saints have all these injuries. Oh, lock this one up. It's a win for us. But you would think we're the healthier team. We're probably the better team right now. You should take care of business in this game. But it'll probably be close. run the ball, control the clock, keep the ball out of New Orleans' offensive hands, and you might have a better chance. Kamara's playing, I believe, right? So that
I think
back
he's
from his
out.
injury. Is
I
he
thought
out?
he was out. Yeah, I thought he was out.
I thought I read that he was playing, but no, he's one of the guys that's out. Okay, yeah. So if he's out, okay, yeah. So he's one of the big names we're talking about. Jameis is still out, right? So,
yeah, they both are tackles out too, and one of the
they're starting tackles, correct? Yeah. So
yeah.
I mean, yeah, you got to go take care of business here, don't you? Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to sit there and say they're going to roll, but like this is a game where you can put some things together and see what you can do, to make a push to see what you can salvage of this season. David Rossell's his Rams will bounce back. No, well, obviously your Rams are going to bounce back. Arguably the best or second best team in the NFC right now. So, it's one of these things where, like, even though like I'm feeling like where I'm looking at the schedule and sitting there saying, well, the Eagles should go 6-1. Like, you always have those games where divisional games where you probably should have won that game, but it's a divisional game. They know you play you tough.
You can go 6-1, sure, but who's your only loss? The Cowboys?
And Taysom Hill's questionable as well. Ouch.
That's fine. I think they're better with Trevor Siemian anyway. Like, Taysom Hill's garbage. He's flat out garbage. Like, they're better as a team with Trevor Siemian, and I think you've seen that. He's actually looked very, very manageable, I guess the word that to use, with Sean Payton. It's not like they've played in any games with him and you went, wow, like they've got no chance. Like, they've been in games, right? He's won them. They've won a couple games with him as the starter. They're just obviously not as good as as they are with Jameis. But I mean, it's not like him being their quarterback means they can't come into Philly and beat us, type of thing. It's not bad. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He always seems to make the right throw and the right read. You're probably not going to confuse him pre-snap. He's a Northwestern kid, so he's very smart. It's going to be a knockout, grind him out sort of game. That's kind of what you're in for here.
I want to fight Sean Payton. Why? What happened? What did Sean Payton do? What did he do to you, Gabriel?
I know. Like, what is that?
I need to know more. Why do you got to fight him? Yeah. Well, how I'm feeling about this one. It's probably they should be favored. They should probably win by a touchdown, if not a little bit more. Well, especially with the injuries. I don't expect them to roll on them, but I won't be surprised if they did, considering the injuries. It's a game they should take care of business. Point blank and period.
Yeah, I mean, does it? You could look at the line two ways and say it's an Eagles line because the Eagles are slightly favored now. But at the same time, you could look at it and say, maybe they should be favored by more considering we're healthy. We're kind of playing at a high level right now, like our highest level all year. The Saints are banged up all this. I mean, I wouldn't bet money on it, I don't think. But, like, you know what I mean? Like, I think we should win. But in some ways, I feel like that line, like, for example, I'll give you an example with the NBA yesterday. The Nets were favored by minus 1,100, which is a huge line for any of you sports gamblers out there, over the Magic. And then it was announced that Kevin Durant was going to be out and he wasn't going to play. And the line eventually went from minus 1,100 and fell all the way to minus 550 in favor of the Nets. That's how, like, that line got cut in half because of that. So, like, I look at certain things, like when I see all these injuries for the Saints, Kamara's not playing and Hill's questionable and they've got two offensive linemen hurt. Maybe this line should have grown even a little bit more in our favor. And the fact that it hasn't has got me a little bit scared. But, you'll find out what type of team we are tomorrow. A good football team wins this game, right? A good football team takes advantage of the fact that the other team's hurt, banged up, missing a lot of key guys. They're on the road, and you take advantage of it and win a game. If you lose, it kind of speaks volumes to what we are as a football team. And we kind of are what we thought we were before the season, right, Steven? We are.
I think they're
right. We thought we were.
I think they're right at where we think they were. We'll see if they're a little bit better, a little bit worse, and as they plays along. But let's kind of get into this next segment. It looks like our boy Alan's already in the back, so let's switch gears real quick here. And this next segment is brought to you by Manscaped. Head over to the website. Use that code A2D to get 20% off free shipping at manscaped.com. Unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped. And with that being said, let's switch it up. Bring our boy Alan on. What's up, Alan? How you feeling this afternoon?
Good. Yourself? How you guys doing?
I'm good. Everything's good on my end. I know Zach's had a rough start. Technology always loves him.
Yeah, technology.
Yeah. Now I want to get this out of the way, Alan. I want to make sure we can take care of this because our biggest sponsors aren't on our biggest platform. Go share this show live today. After the show, share it with everybody that you want to be able to see it. Anybody that you think would potentially love to see this and even, view it as, maybe a potential platform for their business or whatever, because with the technical difficulties, apparently we're not live on all the platforms the way we should be. So feel free to take this and share it with anybody that on a business perspective, basketball coaches, anything like that.
Yeah, you guys know I always sing your praises, so.
Love it. How you feeling this evening? How was your weekend, brother?
Oh, busy, man. I helped a good friend of mine move today. Got to the gym this morning, so it's been a busy day. My body's a little tired, but getting through it. So,
I feel you. I got a few more days, and I can finally take this freaking thing off.
Yeah, I bet you that's nice.
Yeah. Devontae Smith stole my swag last week, man. I'm like, what's up with this? Turn it on. I see Hampton T's wearing the arm brace. I'm like, what's going on?
Good look.
How's your Bordentown team looking?
Oh man, it's the exciting. I feel like a kid on Christmas, a kid in a candy store, whatever you want to say it is. We start tryouts Monday afternoon after school, first day of tryouts. So exciting times. To start my seasons with Bordentown and year one going. I can't wait for that. So we're young, we're very young, but very exciting. A lot of talent, but very young, so it's going to be a real growing experience for them. So,
hey man, it's always good to pass the knowledge along, right?
Yeah, definitely. But a lot of upside, so we'll see.
I kind of wish I lived. I mean, like obviously, you remember I lived in Roebling, Florence Township. I mean, literally, I could take the river line. Yeah. I could take the river line to Bordentown to watch your games if I wanted to. I wish I still lived up in the area, but down here in Florida. Take a river line.
I got the job so late that the schedule was already filled, our regular season, but I did get Doan on the schedule as a scrimmage, so that's going to be good at Bordentown. That'll be a classic, of course.
Yeah, apparently me and Dan aren't friends anymore.
Ouch! Tommy's throwing hammers on the air.
Yeah, no, I was on time, but hey, this is what I said. I need, in case you were listening last week, Tom, I need Santa Tom to bring me some high def computer recording equipment for Christmas because I've got to do this show through my phone every week, and for whatever reason the connection always sucks. The connection always sucks, and instead of coming on without being having good connection and being choppy and not being able to actually do a high quality show, we try to wait until the quality.
Listen, we all got to make sacrifices.
Within a certain period of time, Tom, everything was okay. Sincerely, A2D management. Yeah, I need one, Tom. Can Santa Tom buy me one for Christmas? That'd be lovely. That should be your Christmas bonus to me.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Get a laptop like the rest of the world, brother.
Mine broke. It busted. It doesn't help. It's from like 2014.
Listen, we've all made sacrifices. We get.
I'm
things
always trimming, Tommy. Come on, man. You know me.
Just busting chops. How you feeling about this football season so far, man? What are you feeling? What do you like?
Well, Alan's a Vikings fan, so Alan.
Yeah, I'm a Vikings fan. So misery. That's how I feel. We should be so much better than our record. We just can't close games. We just can't close games. We've lost so many heartbreakers. But, my old saying is good teams find ways to win, bad teams find ways to lose. So, we lost those games. It is what it is. That's just how it is. But I think the Eagles are making a turning point, though. I think you guys are starting to look good. I think you guys are starting to hit a stride. I know we're on Philly, so we better talk Eagles stuff. So no one wants to hear about the Vikings, but
we can talk a little school talk.
The Vikings
are
an interesting conversation, Alan, because we were talking about them earlier, and this is why I brought it up, because there's a lot of people in Philly talking about the Eagles and a potential playoff run. One of the teams they would have to go fight in the wild card, obviously, would be the Vikings. And I said about the Vikings earlier, a lot like what you said, the Vikings are the only team in football to have a 7-point lead in every game this year. Now they're 5-5, but still, that kind of speaks volumes to where they are as a football team if they can figure out a way to be more consistent down the stretch and close games out. Like, I don't think the Eagles are better than the Vikings. I just don't.
Our games have been so weird, too. Like, we had a kick return for a touchdown. We didn't turn the ball over. The Ravens turned the ball over twice, and we still lost that game. It's just like the weirdest ways we just find ways to lose. It's incredible.
The Bengals game early in the year.
We had the Cardinals beat. Our kicker missed a field goal, if I remember, or Dalvin Cook fumbled. I forget. I get them mixed up. They're all blurred in there.
The Bengals game, wasn't it?
The Eagles got a couple games like that where we feel like it should have turned the other way. And like we have at least I think 2 games we feel we probably should have won, could have won, etc. So
that extra playoff spot's going to do one of us some favors. So
I'm with you, but here's the other problem with that: the Eagles have not won a game at home yet, and that's my problem here. We haven't beat a good football team. The Broncos are 500. At the end of the day, they're probably going to have just as many wins as we will, 8 or 9 wins, right? We kind of predicted that before the year. So when I look at this Eagles team, we haven't won a game at home, and we really haven't beaten what you would consider a good football team. Yeah. Until that, the Saints are a good football team, but not how they're currently constructed this week with all their injuries. So the only good football team left on our schedule is Dallas. And for me, that's where I'm not sold on this Eagles team. I feel like we lose one game. We've got 2 games against the Giants, 2 games against the Washington no-names, and the game against Dallas left that go along with the game this week against the Saints and a game against the Jets. I figure we lose 1 against the Giants, 1 against Washington, and maybe the Dallas game when we go 4-3. 5-2 at best. But there's a lot of people, Stephen included, that think we could go 6-1 and get 10 wins and make the playoffs. I just don't see that.
Listen, I say it's one of these things. If you feel that this team is changing, hitting their stride, putting things together, they should take care of business, and win more than 4 games the rest of the way out. That's just how I feel about it. If Jalen Hurts is a guy that could use another year, etc., he has to show me a little bit something. He has to push the envelope a little bit more. I already said that, but before we got into this, I was just under yours. I was 7-8 wins, and they would be just outside of a playoff spot when it came down to it. We'll see what happens. This one Sunday kind of starts that trend, and then you go and play both the New York teams in Washington over the next 3 to 4 weeks before you go play Dallas right at the end of the season, which is a game that could very well mean nothing to them, and they may not have anyone in it. So you don't know.
But that's a tough stretch. Let's be honest. The Jets game, okay, but the Jets have also beaten Tennessee. Like, the Jets have showed up to play teams tough this year. But to say that we've got the Giants and Washington in 2 of the next 3 weeks, again, Washington just beat Tampa. Like, they're playing well. The Giants played Kansas City really tough.
We played Tampa tough too. So
no. It's not really. We made it close. We made it closer than it really looked like.
Exactly. But this is what I'm talking about. This is the perception that everyone has.
In that game, and Jalen Hurts looked really bad. Let's be honest. But this idea, people, the Giants, we should beat the Giants. It's always a smash. But that's like when the Vikings play the Packers. No matter how good or bad both teams are, that's always going to be a smash mouth, punch you in the mouth, scrap it out sort of game. It just is.
I I'm not saying the divisional games are pushovers, but looking how they look, like those are games you should theoretically take care of business.
But,
if you are this team that you say you are, not who we thought you were, we'll see that. Go ahead, bro.
Hold on, though. But theoretically, if you've got 2 against the Giants and 2 against Washington and 1 against Dallas, I mean, divisional games. How often do you we've got 5 divisional games left. How often do you win 5? Like, this idea that we're going to go 5-0 in the rest of our divisional games is just a little bit silly to me. Like, that doesn't happen. Like, you don't go 5-1 in your division, which is what we would do if we won out. Like, the only game we lost is the first Dallas game. You go 4-2 at best. But that's if you're a good team. Like, good teams go 4-2 in their division. Like, I think we're more like an average team, which makes me think we go 3-3. Like, I don't, I find it really, really crazy to think that we're going to find a way to win both Giants games and both Washington games, even if we do win the Dallas game.
All right, so we got people chiming in there. They're saying we'll sweep the Washington, split with the Giants and the Cowboys.
Okay, I mean, so you sweep Washington. Okay, so that means that means they've got us going 5-1 the rest of the way, because that means we're going to beat Dallas, and the only game we lose in the division is the Giants. So you're telling me this team is going to go 5-1 in the division? Like, again, that's what Super Bowl teams do. They go 5-1 in the division. That's just not being realistically to me. Like not being realistic to me. Like, I feel like realistically speaking, you probably split those games. Like you're gonna go 1-1 against the Giants and 1-1 against Washington, and then even if you beat Dallas, that means you went 4-2. That means, okay, say we beat the Saints, the Jets, and then we split the 2 games against the Giants and Washington and beat Dallas. That means we go 5-2 the rest of the way, which to me, that means you're 9-8 to end the year. Like, and people are gonna be like, "Oh, you're being crazy." Like, if we're 9-8 with a rookie head coach and a rookie coaching staff and a guy that's in his first year as a starting quarterback, I mean, hell, you're like high-fiving people over that type of year in your first year. That's called progress. I mean, like, we're expecting way too much to sit here and say we're going to go 6-1 the rest of the year, win 10 games, make the playoffs. Like, that's what rookie head coach quarterback combination does that? Like, seriously.
A lot of Eagles fans are feeling that way after that win. I still feel a little bit too high on their hopes right now. We got to bring it back.
We're smelling ourselves over a win against Denver, Stephen. Like, people are this fan base.
I know.
They're smelling themselves over beating Denver. We beat Denver, and people are like, doing one of those old school like pat yourself on the back sort of things because we beat fucking Denver. Pump the brakes a little.
So we have this other guy over here. He says the losses are at Giants, at Jets, and Dallas. So he's going the other way.
Well, that Jets game, I'm telling you, and that's always the way that works, right? Like, the Jets beat the Titans. Nobody thought they would. They beat the Bengals. People are like, oh, where'd that come from? They played some teams tough, and you go to especially when you're kind of looking ahead a little bit. You go beat the Saints, and then, you got the Giants, and it's almost like one of those things like you could be looking ahead at that Jets game and go, oh, well, we've got Washington next week, and we really need to focus on that game. And the next thing you know, you lose to the Jets, and you fucked everything over, and now nothing matters anyway going forward because you fucked yourself over by losing to the Jets. Like, that's not a sure thing win. And, people are like, oh, we'll beat the Jets. That's easy peasy. Like,
now he's trolling you.
Until it's not, the Super Bowl, right? Until we get there, and it's not.
All right, so we're excited because we show the ability to sub 500 teams, and that's all.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Yeah, that's kind of why I'm laughing. Like, oh, great! Like, we beat a bunch of average football teams, and
but I don't want to get too high on that. But also with that being said, I don't want to linger too much on it. I know we got some basketball talk. Obviously, we got Alan on the Sixers go live in just under an hour. So let's quick change gears here. And with that being said,
are you concerned about them? Are you concerned about them, Alan? You concerned about the Sixers right now?
I'm not. I think the COVID, the people we've been missing is a huge reason for our struggles recently. I think they all come back. I think we get healthy. I think most of our struggles go away, kind of. So we were playing good basketball before. So I just think it's been injuries in the COVID situation, to be honest. But
Yeah, and,
I know you're a huge Maxey guy.
Steven,
you're a huge Maxey guy too.
So it's nice to see him produce the way he is. To be honest with you, I didn't think he was capable of doing what he's been doing. I just thought he was like a really good, decent starting point guard in the NBA. He's actually exceeding my expectations right now.
Got superstar potential, doesn't he?
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Coach Cal, a lot of his guys translate to the NBA. The way he does business in college translates to the NBA. A lot of his guys turn into superstars. That's why I was a big fan of him.
Mature and develop.
Yeah. So, and he's young. He's got a lot of growth still. He's got a lot of ceiling left, probably.
Listen, Steven will tell you, I've been telling people since we drafted him that the kid has the potential to be a superstar. And I had all these people that would chime in on our chat room telling me I'm an idiot and trying to tell me how stupid I was for thinking that. And I'm like, I just love watching his maturity and watching how much better he's becoming on a daily basis. Because, it makes the Ben Simmons conversation so much easier to have, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like, all right, like, who gives a fuck about him when Maxey plays at this level?
And more than anything, when you look at success that Coach Cal, coach players have had, the point guard position is one of the best. Like his point guards really translate to the next level for whatever reason. He's really good at point guards. All of them, John Wall, Derrick Rose. You keep it goes on
there. That's a good point. That's a really good point.
So who's that real small? There was that real small undersized guard. He's still in the NBA. He's not a superstar. I forget his name. It escapes me right now. I know who you're talking about though. Bledsoe. Ulis? Is it Ulis? Tyler Ulis?
Tyler Ulis, yeah. No, he played at Syracuse.
He had a few good years, and then he kind of, went away. He's still somewhere. He's a bench rider.
That's a good point. It really is. Like Devin Booker's a guy that came in, just tons of upside and not really, like a finished product, and he's developed into a star.
Yeah, they're all one and done guys. They go to Kentucky to play a great schedule, get coached hard by Coach Cal, and then they bounce for the NBA. But they're all young and they have a ton of upside. They have a ton of room to develop. That's the thing about it. And Coach Cal's hard on them. He's hard on them. So they're used to being coached. They're used to, understanding you have to compete every night. And, I might be biased because Coach Cal's my favorite coach, but, I just think he does a great job of producing people for the NBA. So that's why I was really excited when we got Maxey. I was really excited about that pick.
Coach Cal, he's an interesting thing because he's kind of like, you look at college programs and it's like you either go one of two directions. Like, you're either committed to kind of like building like a winning product and sustaining it, or you're committed to developing talent for the next level. And Cal's kind of gotten to the point where he's got the respect around, college basketball, where if he just focuses on bringing in young guys that he develops for the next level, it's not going to be held against him that he's not going to compete for national championships or things like that anymore, because it's understood what his significance is in the game and how important he is for the development of a lot of these young college players. It's kind of interesting how it's gotten to that point. It takes having a lot of success to earn that respect, but he's gotten to that point.
I remember, I don't know if you remember him making this comment, but when he had 6 players get drafted in the first round, back with the DeMarcus Cousins and John Wall and all that, he came out and said, this is the most important night in Kentucky basketball history. And he took so much heat for that because Kentucky is a blue blood. They have so much, the national championships, he took a lot of heat for that. He said,
basketball heaven, as Rick Pitino used to call it.
Well, what don't you understand? He's like, 6 people's lives changed tonight. We did that. For national championships, great and all, but we just changed 6 people's lives in one night. It's never been done before. It may never be done again. 6 players from one team drafted in the first round.
And he's kind of somebody that it's funny because at one point he had this reputation, oh, he's a cheater and he's dirty and yada, yada. And anybody that understood how basketball works or college sports in general works understands it's a dirty, corrupt, industry when it comes to all of the recruiting and all that. And the fact that, he was just kind of doing it better than everybody else, it kind of leads to certain people being jealous and kind of blowing the whistle and kind of making you look like the bad guy, when in reality, he was doing the same things that everybody else was doing.
Everybody plays those games. He just had a target.
They all play the same shit.
He had a target on his back. But
and now, that it's kind of gotten to the point where that's not even illegal in NCAA, sports anymore. Players can go sign these, independent contracts and make all those deals. Nobody even cares. They're just like, that's all. Like all of a sudden, his the people that didn't respect him before have kind of like let go of the things that they held against him and have kind of grown to the idea of, okay, I'm cool with him now. I get it. It's, and they kind of see the bigger picture with it.
Yeah. He was ahead of his time.
He's a guy for me that I could see him making the jump to the NBA here in a few years. I mean, do you see him? I mean, he has previous NBA experience. It gets to a certain point where what else can you accomplish at the college level sort of thing, right? Like,
yeah. Here's my thing.
Why
with
not
that.
go make that jump?
Here's my thing with that. I love him to death. I think he's a great coach, but I think his rah-rah, in your face, yelling, arguing, getting in you about certain things doesn't translate to the NBA. All right, you're yelling at kids that are still growing, that are still finding themselves and whatnot, and then you translate that to the NBA where you're yelling at grown people who have their own kids. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't translate. And he's older now than he was with the Nets, so maybe he won't be as crazy as he was when he was with the Nets.
The idea of understanding how to make that adjustment.
Yeah, maybe he tones it back a little bit, but if he's the same that way, it could be trouble. Like players tone you out. You can't all be all rah-rah in people's face all the time, 100%. But
I could just see the idea of like, you've got one of his former players at the NBA level who feels as if like, whatever team he's on at that moment, we're this close to an NBA title or whatever. And he becomes the guy that, because of your relationship with so-and-so star player, obviously if he could coach you in college, he can coach you here in the NBA, right? That would make sense. And I could see the right situation. He wouldn't take any NBA job, obviously, but the right situation I think he would leave for.
Yeah, it'd have to be perfect because UK is as good as a job as it gets, to be honest.
Oh, sure.
As far as college goes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like when Rick Pitino and he left to go coach Boston back in the day, right? To coach the Boston Celtics. Yeah. You're almost like, there is a couple jobs, the Knicks, the Celtics, maybe the Nets, the Lakers, any of those jobs where like, if somebody was like, hey, if LeBron's like, hey, come coach the Lakers, you're the guy I want to coach out here.
It might be something. Yeah.
I might just say yes, just because, it's the Lakers and you're LeBron and you win and the money and everything. And what the hell else do I have to? Hey, how many guys have won a college title and an NBA title? How many guys, like you start getting to a point as a coach where you start thinking about all these things, right? Like, what else can I accomplish here in college? Hey, I can go to the NBA and become somebody that very few coaches have ever done that sort of thing. And it's just, Calipari has that type of, like, I feel like he's that type of guy. He understands where he ranks in all of those things, and he pays attention to that stuff. I wouldn't be surprised if it weighs on him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the fact that he hasn't, he's doing a great thing and he's the only one doing it. Well, now more people are going to do it. But like I said, Kentucky was ahead of their time with the one and done situation. But it still has to weigh on him that he hasn't won as many national championships as he probably should for as much talent as he's had. He probably should have another national championship or two to his resume.
Yeah, I mean, the thing with Memphis when they went to the Final Four with Derrick Rose, that obviously got taken away from them, right? Or they won the national title when it got taken away.
It was a runner-up. They
lost to Kansas.
Chalmers, by I think it was Mario Chalmers hit the buzzer beater. And the run, it all got erased in history because of the Derrick Rose stuff.
See, for me, I think that's where, like, maybe in his mind things changed because he went and he realized, the system's dirty. It's not, it just, this is the way that we all have to try to do the same shit to get ahead, but certain people get punished and others don't. And he decided.
Well, Memphis wasn't a blue blood. Memphis isn't a blue blood. So.
Yeah.
So.
But, I think that was part of the motivation to go to Kentucky and say, I'll focus on other things outside of winning. If there's other things I can do to help grow the sport of college basketball, that's where my focus is at now. And I'm not going to worry about the idea of, what might happen if, you didn't win this many national championships or whatever. Why do I care if I'm him at this point? I've got one. I've done enough winning to – I've got a couple, actually. I've done enough winning to gain people's respect. And then on top of it, people like you, me, the smart people, they understand the other things that he's done to grow the sport as far as the one and done and how, the developing the talent and all that goes. You almost look at it like when he gets inducted into the Hall of Fame or whatever in the future, the bigger conversation with Calipari is always going to be – not the winning or the national titles, but how he developed young players and how he changed the game in that way. So fuck the winning. You know what? If I'm him, I love the fact that he doesn't care about all the national titles and it doesn't bother him.
I was gonna say, I got about 5 of his books behind me on my bookshelf here, and his one quote in his most his quote in the most recent book was, "Don't try to be just the best. Try to be the only one who does what you do." So that's what he tries to do. He's like, it's not just about being the best. He's like, I want to be the only one doing what I do. And he was the first one. Now there's going to be a lot more obviously doing it, but with the new rules.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. What's funny is like he really is like the guy that I remember changing that landscape of college basketball. As far as there was a time when guys coming and spending 1 year being a one and done, that was frowned upon. It was viewed as this bad thing for the sport, and it's grown into just one of those things that's normal and looked at as, oh, okay, that's the way things go now. Like, that's how it is. Like the best college basketball players, the best prospects, they are one and done guys. That's just how it goes. And that's, when was the last time a senior or an upperclassman was drafted with the top pick in the NBA draft? Anthony Bennett with the Cavs in 2013. That's 8 years ago now, right? I mean,
yeah, see how that worked out.
That's how long ago it was. Like literally, since 2014, every top pick has been a freshman or one of those guys, 18, 19-year-old, young, type of player of that kind.
Yep. Well, a lot of these other coaches wouldn't touch one and dones, like Coach K and Frank Martin and all those guys. They wouldn't have anything to do with one and done guys. And they've shifted their philosophy.
Yeah, and what's funny is, and what I actually enjoy about college basketball now is you've got some of the one and done guys, but guys like Jay Wright have also benefited from the idea of still trying to build programs in the old school way. What's his name at the University of Virginia? Bennett, Tony Bennett.
I thought Huggins. I like that too, though.
Huggins at West Virginia. Yeah, these are guys that. It's not uncommon to see them with juniors and seniors, as the leaders on their team being their best players. And Villanova's won national titles doing that. Virginia won a national title doing that. And, it's kind of fun to see that dynamic play out. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like talent versus experience. That's what it is. It's talent. The young guys, the freshmen, the, guys are going to be top lottery picks versus the mature seniors, juniors that have been there and done that.
Now, can a team like Gonzaga, like I thought last year was going to be their best chance to ever win a national title. It just seemed like they had the best team. And then still you'll watch them go against Baylor, and Baylor with their elite athletes and the guys that are just, they can run up and down the court and yam on you and you don't have anything for it. What are you going to do? Yeah. That's what held Gonzaga back. Can a team like Gonzaga ever, win a national title with the type of program that Mark Few tries to build there?
Yes, I believe that you can. I believe that it's still possible to win that because they just play too good at basketball. They just played. Their basketball is just too good. They move without the ball. The whole thing. The athletes kind of took them by. Baylor came out swinging in that game too. If I remember correctly, I think they hit like 4 threes to start the game. I could be wrong, but I think if I remember correctly, they hit a ton of shots to start the game. They came out shooting the lights out, which is not what they were known for. So they hit a lot of shots, and then Gonzaga kind of had to build them, take themselves out of that hole that they dug. But I think Gonzaga,
which isn't their strength. Gonzaga wants to play from ahead.
No. They're slow it down, methodical. You're 10, 8, 9 seconds left on the shot clock before they get a shot off. So that quick pace up and down. That was Baylor's game. So once they got the hole dug, they had to play Baylor's game, which you're not going to beat Baylor at Baylor's game. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah, you don't have the athletes to keep up with them.
No, but I think it can still happen. It's going to be few and far between, but there's still going to be those teams that have juniors and seniors that have been there, done that, have been there and lost the championship. Knows the difference between winning and losing now. And Mark, he's a great coach, so there's no doubt in my mind Gonzaga can win it. There's no question.
I think you make the argument, and I think I'll say it right now. I'm not even how I'll make the argument. I'll say 100%. In my opinion, Gonzaga, Mark Few has built the most consistent program in all of college basketball, and it's been that way for quite a while now. But when you look at them you know, every single year Gonzaga is going to be right there at the end of the year. They might, they might not have a year like last year where you're looking at, the best team in the country, but every single year Gonzaga is not missing a beat. They're going to be there. They're going to be in the conversation as one of the best teams in the country. It's amazing that he's had that type of established success. You never really seen that anywhere else in the country.
I agree. I agree 100%. I mean, they're always ranked in the top 10, always, every year. And usually, actually, it's more in the top 5. But he knows what kind of guys he wants, and that's who he recruits. So that's why they can just keep that success rolling, because he just plugs in guys. One senior class graduates, the next group up, they have already bought in. They're his guys. They know what they're going to play and how they're going to play, and that's what he does.
He doesn't recruit one and done guys either, right? He's a guy that he wants to be able to develop.
Yeah, he wants 4 years guys. It doesn't always work out that way, but I mean, look at Timmy. Timmy, he's not going to be a good NBA player, but he's a stud at this level. He's a stud in college. He
reminds me of a little bit. Tell me this ain't a bad comparison. He kind of reminds me of a Tyler Hansborough. You knew when you watched him in college.
I was just about to say that.
You watched him in college, right? Like, oh, what a stud college player. But he's never going to be anything special in the NBA. He might have a cup of tea and last for a few years. Yeah. But, like, if he's not like a Tyler Hansborough clone.
Yeah, he doesn't have a position. He's too small to be a big, and then he doesn't shoot the ball and dribble a ball enough to be a wing player.
Not athletic enough, right? Yeah. Can't shoot from the perimeter, things like that. But he's just, he'll be a 12th man on a bench.
He'll be a great
Kaminsky type
guy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Frank Kaminsky was a guy.
That's a good comparison.
Played at Wisconsin. You kind of felt that way. Like, he'll be an NBA guy, but never really be like a star or anything. But he'll stick around, and he's a 12th man on Phoenix's bench or whatever it is now, right? Like.
Now, Hansborough, who was who I was thinking about originally, but Kaminsky is a good.
Yeah, no, he just looks like Hansborough to me, and similar in size and shape, attitude, personality. Good kid, you root for him, but you just realize that he's limited in what he's ever going to be able to be. If I'm him, I might say, fuck the NBA. I'll just go play overseas. Might have a way better career, make more money doing that than I ever would in the NBA. Fuck that.
Oh, there you lose him. Got frozen. Oh, wow. Yep.
You good? You there?
Yeah. Yeah, I just got all frozen for a second. I don't know what happened.
Oh, you were frozen. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw that.
Well, me and Alan were carrying the show. Don't worry about it. We had it. It was good. Alan knows. Listen, I carried a baseball team on my back one year at Doane. Alan carried a basketball team on his back for a couple of years.
No, I set a ton of screens and made the extra pass. That's what I did. took a bunch of
You were the most consistent player.
Wow.
Alan, nope. Hey, you played college basketball before any of those other motherfuckers at Doane did.
A lot of people played college basketball. Chase is actually.
You saw the post I made about Chase earlier, didn't you? Yeah. I made that post. No, I didn't post it. I sent it to Tommy though about Chase playing at Tarleton State. I was like, how about Chase Lane playing Division I basketball at Tarleton State? Good for him.
Yep. Took them. It takes some people. Everyone's journey is different. So he went JUCO for a couple years. He went prep.
Played at Hill College. Played at a postgraduate year of high school. But you know what? He was also a kid that always needed to mature a little bit like that, and was always going to benefit from a postgraduate year like that. And as soon as he was playing that postgrad year, I knew that's how good for him.
Yeah. And
I knew it was going to benefit.
All right, Zach, Alan. My next guest is about to hop on, so I'm going to throw the microphone over to you real quick to, how I always do it. Just anyone you want to throw some love to. Anything else you want to say before we let you go, Alan? The time is yours, my friend.
Make sure you get your basketball team out there, my man.
I appreciate you guys, having me on. I always have fun talking sports, talking basketball, whatever the case may be is. So, super excited about the season starting, for Bordentown starting Monday. We got our tryouts, so it's going to be a great time. Got a great schedule, but as always, contact me for any of your real estate needs. I'm very down to earth, all about you guys. You can follow me on Twitter, Coach Alan J. Foy, Instagram, Coach Alan J. Foy, my Facebook page, Buy and Sell with Alan, or just contact me directly, 302-682-8820. Whatever the case may be is, just reach out to me for whatever you need. So I appreciate you guys, and until next time.
Always appreciate the time, Alan. We'll definitely have you back on here again. Maybe get you on here a couple times in December. Have some fun. All right, my friend?
Yeah, man. I appreciate you guys.
All right, Alan.
We'll bring you on a
Appreciate
couple times before Christmas, definitely.
it. Exactly. All right, everyone. That was our boy Alan Foy. And real quick, as we're gonna get ready to switch gears and bring Shannon App on, this next segment is brought to you by Fan Up, and they're the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. Daily NFL contests is more. Win great prices. Sign up today using promo code A2D. That's for 5,000 bonus points, and it's like a $55 value for Fan Up app. With that being said, our interview for this afternoon, evening, wherever you're joining us from, needs no introduction herself. Shannon fucking Knapp, everybody. How you doing?
I'm doing well. And you?
I'm doing great. You know how it goes. Just everything's crazy on my end. I know it's been some time since me and you caught up. I was still doing basic. You're asking me, are we doing video or is it how we doing this one? Yeah, well, here we are doing the upgrade. You got a nice little setup back there on your own. I've seen you doing some interviews this week as well. So
yeah, it's been a little busy, but
yeah,
busy.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun busy. Yeah, I guess the question now, on top of everything else, does Shannon Knapp have the IBDM credits now on top of the other names you have for yourself? Obviously, CEO, president. You've made quite a name for yourself in the combat sports world. Obviously, for people who don't know, the Bruise movie is coming out. I think it's out officially on Netflix on the 24th. Correct?
Right. Yeah, that's correct. It's in theaters right now, but it comes out and it'll premiere on the 24th. And by the way, we're having a watch party. So, please join us if you have the time or anybody that's listening.
Oh yeah, definitely. I might have to tune in for that one. I already seen the list of names you got there. It's definitely going to be an interesting conversation, especially when you get Felice and Julie in the same place at the same time. It should definitely be some fun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a nice mix. A real nice mix.
Yeah. You got some nice mix, some nice characters. Should be for some fun conversation. So I guess I got to ask you. I guess how did this whole thing come about? Like with with the thing with Bruise, with Halle Berry coming in to direct it. How did you guys wind up getting involved with it? How did that whole thing come about?
Halle's team reached out to me about coming to an event. And at first we couldn't get any, the schedules to connect, but we had an event coming up and they reached back out again and the time was still off, but I just went in for the pitch. It's like, you can't tell a story unless you go where it begins. You can't jump in at the middle and you can't jump in at the top. If you really want to, embrace a role or tell a story, I think you have to start where it begins. And, I was like, there's no better place than here. I throw up in my doors and you take a look at everything. So their team came in, Halle came into the event. We were able to give her that experience, up close and personal experience. And then, I did a little bit of consulting for, of course, what the setup should look like, to have a live event. And then we kind of went from there. And then I was like, well, hey, I have everything you need, it should be Invicta. So, and that's just really how it all kind of unfolded.
I guess it was nice. Invicta's got its little footprint into the film world now, outside of obviously what you guys are doing and promoting. So obviously it's out. I only came across one knucklehead that had something to say about it. He was like, "Oh, what was he saying? The promotion of it was cringeworthy." I'm like, what does it matter how it's promoted? What does it matter? Like did anyone sit there saying that this film's going to win Academy Awards? It's going to break records at the box? No, we're here to see Halle Berry's directorial debut, and see the story that she wants to tell. That involves women's combat sports.
Hey, anytime that it shines a light, and women can get exposure for competing in the sport, I think it's a great thing. And I think the athletes are going to be super excited. And be sure to play I Spy because, the posters in the background at the gym and stuff like that, they're actual Invicta posters and things that we put out online.
Oh, so you got Easter eggs for us. You got some Easter eggs in the movie for us. Oh, there you go.
Yeah. You know what's cool too, and I don't even think this is I don't think the athletes know it that are involved, but Verbosa and Storylinenko, that fight, those clips, there's a clip of that in the movie. So that's going to be a nice surprise for them, or if they watch the show or listen to this, then they're going to know. But yeah, there's a lot of little hidden gems. You know, they sign our Invicta contract. You know, there's just a lot of great things. So
that's
I'm
awesome.
hoping that the athletes are really, excited about that aspect.
Yeah, then obviously you're able to get some of the athletes involved in here. Obviously everyone knows Valentina's in it. You also have I believe at least one other Invicta athlete in the movie as well. That's also a kind of cool thing. I mean, like I said, obviously there's been other combat sports movies that were involved with women athletes, but I think this one's obviously a little bit different.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool things with it. I don't know if you noticed, but the soundtrack for the movie is an all-female rap soundtrack, and that's like the first time. So it's like really, really cool.
Hey, you get it. You can get some of these cool little things where you take it, especially when it comes to things like that. And
yeah.
Listen, you don't get a lot of these opportunities, and sometimes, like you said, like it wasn't working at first, but sometimes you just find ways to make things happen so it. Not just that like you're involved in it, but just things are presented in a certain way too is kind of important.
Yeah, no, of course, yeah. So, yeah, it definitely, I think it's going to help also show that part of winning is just really getting up and getting into the fight and not being defined by your circumstances. So I think there's, some good lessons in there and hopefully some empowerment moments. And there's also funny moments in the movie, and Julie Kidsey is commentating in the movie.
Oh, that should be enough.
She's commentating, her and Eve Edwards. So that's cool to see as well. I was trying to think of what else. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of great things that, will translate. And actually the fight scene is really good in the movie at the end. It's really good.
And it had to have been because if some of the reports that came out, like some of the stuff that Holly was doing when she was doing some of the stuff, she broke some ribs and things of that nature. So it wasn't like one of the typical they do things in right angles to make it look like but both actor and athletes, but both put out everything into this movie. I think that's also one of the cool things. I think, moving forward, hopefully we can start seeing whatever doors that, you guys can able to connect and open up for other athletes as well, hopefully.
Yeah, no, that's always, my objective is, to continue shining the light and helping to elevate it and just make it better, to be honest.
I mean, it's always what you have been doing. It's never been, about what your goals is. It's always about what the overall goal is for women's combat sports. I mean, you even go look at, some of your veterans in the UFC. I don't think every female champion is an Invicta either veteran or champion.
I'm a little biased, but I always feel like when you compete at Invicta, they're not easy fights. That's 100%. They're never going to be easy. But what they are is they're going to help you develop and be the best that you can be, the best version. And I always feel like we prepare those athletes to be champions. So, yeah, I always feel good about the athletes when they move over. There's been a couple who went, I think, too soon. But, I'm still always very confident in where they'll land.
Yeah, I mean, even like some that who may falter, maybe not under the wing right now. Obviously, that they always dust themselves off and wind up in good situations, elsewhere, or wind up back there again at some point in time. Yeah. I got to ask you, how happy are you for Rose? Like this is her second run now, but I think she's, everyone has counted her out each time she's fought for this title, and she's literally kind of slayed these unbeatable fighters that they said they're putting her in. I really hope she gets a nice little run here and is able to kind of build her star and build her brand up a little bit more here.
I love Rose. She's one of my favorites. She's just interesting too. I mean, I love the personality. I love the essence of what she she is,
Yeah.
what she stands for, and
She's not just a great fighter. She's an awesome person. There's layers to her. She's like an onion. You got to peel it back.
One of the I will say one of the most incredible things I've seen, and I've been in the sport for a long time. I came through the male side. The stare down with her and Joanna, when she was reciting the Lord's Prayer, I mean, is unbelievable. You couldn't even script that. It's just that it just really is that moment where, it's just crazy.
Just little things that you just don't realize. Little moments like that are just kind of cool. Yeah, I know what you mean. Like you can't think about it. Like if you're outside looking and you don't know what you're seeing, but until somebody kind of like that, it's an intense moment. People don't realize. I say it all the time. They just don't realize you could be on paper the bigger, better fighter, but if you have this and it's not right on the other side, I win.
I agree with you. Yeah.
I have an announcement for the people real quick.
Oh,
just
God.
So the people,
what do you got,
just so the people know. The Wizard of Oz is currently airing on TBS.
Watching you going, wondering what
I am absolutely not ready for any type of the Christmas stuff. I still feel like we have another week and a half before I need to see it.
Whoa. Since when is the Wizard of Oz strictly a Christmas?
That's typically
Christmas.
stuff they
The
throw out
Wizard of
around
Oz
Christmas.
Christmas?
Oh, I was telling my daughter about it the other day. I was like, "You're gonna wake you watch it black and white." She's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "Oh man, you don't even know."
Yeah, I'm from Kansas. That's where I live, and so the tornadoes don't come in the winter. Not around Christmas. Tornadoes only.
I live in Florida, so I don't have to worry about tornadoes. I just worry about hurricanes. But still, I have no problem following the yellow brick road.
Right.
Now, after this, what's next for Invicta? When should we start seeing the next big event? Are we going to see something at the beginning of the year?
Yes, you are. We plan on an event in January. We'll start making the announcements shortly, and it's going to be.
When we going to start seeing up here like the Philadelphia, New Jersey area? We need to get some Invicta up on this side of the coast.
We do. I agree with you. I think right now we're working with, different venues and kind of mapping out the schedule, but it's not off the table. Hopefully we can find a good venue and,
Well, 2300, the arena where they used to hold all ECW ones is typically where they do it. It's right in the heart of Philadelphia. And then you also have parks both in Philadelphia and Bensalem, which is just outside of Philadelphia. So you have the casino thing too. So I know that's what you like. You love the casinos.
Well,
I'm not a gambler. I mean, for a promoter, why it makes it easy because your fighters right there, everything's easy, accessible.
You have a marketing assistant. It encompasses a lot of things that become harder on the promoter. So if
it's about locations, let me know. I'll send you a couple addresses. You can let me know.
I'll tell you what,
definitely look at them. Definitely. Can you bet on fights and stuff?
Casinos.
We're PA's good for that now. That's what I love about it. Because we're getting to the point like we come from where in the early days of combat sports where it was rough in doing that, but now it's so open like you're talking about betting. Now I've gotten this guy next to me. He did not have any combat sports in him. Sorry, as soon as the betting came in, he was like, "All right, Steve, you need to let me know what's up with this."
I had money on Sean Brady tonight.
Just
Brady in two different parlays.
Yeah. Just like tonight, had Brady on there. I was telling about Pat Sabatini, a guy, he's coaching the Sambo guys for Eric Purcell's gym over there at NPR just outside of Philadelphia. And he also works with Sean. Like I'm just trying to get him on the Philadelphia stuff to just trying to get him out into the other stuff, man.
I'm the guy that if I know you're fighting at the casino.
When it goes about educating people on the sport, it's just you got to take your time with them and things of that nature. That's why I'm getting them going with the betting side of it first.
I like watching the UFC. I wouldn't be able to.
Now we're not talking about the UFC.
Like a side elbow lock.
We're talking about aspects of it, but we're talking about Shannon is Invicta, and this is the all women's promotion, and that's where it really goes down at.
That's what that is. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that is true. Yep.
And and even if so, you got my good friend Serena under your banner there, so maybe we could talk, get her in your ear, and she'd probably love to take a flight back here for a fight.
Yeah, she's doing really, really well.
Yeah, I know. I it sucks. Me and her we're so close when she was here, but it's like she went out there training with Roxanne, who's getting ready to retire too. And by the way, she's been engulfed down there in Vegas. I don't blame her. Don't fault her one damn bit. Can't wait to see what she does next. She's making a mark all herself. I cannot wait to see where you guys match her next. Definitely got to let me know what's going on with that, because she's definitely she's knocking on that door too.
Yeah, no, actually, they've been inquiring about that for sure. And she's
there
doing
you go.
well.
See, you got some knowledge on us. UFC's been asking about her, so very soon, and I think that's really big on multiple levels, just because who Serena is on top of it.
Yeah, no, that's true. Yeah,
like
true.
I don't even want to say, because it's not even like it's a big thing anymore. But her doing it, I know it'd be a big thing to her.
Yeah,
I know.
I'm sure. Yeah, I know. It's a big dream for her.
Just the type of person she is. Yeah, it would be huge to her. So hopefully she keeps going trending in that direction, and they won't be making calls inquiring. They'll be like, all right, what does it take to get this contract? But yeah, but now,
in your opinion. What would it take, from a marketing standpoint? Because I think that's the big thing that I hear UFC fighters talk about with themselves, as far as other forms of pro fighting. What would it take from a marketing perspective to kind of get, all of these mixed martial art fighters into a big money type of, environment when it comes to the marketing side? Because I feel like that's why you're seeing all these prize fights happen on the boxing side, because these guys realize that's where the money's at.
The money's been in boxing for longer. That's the only thing. I think that's the only difference. If you're asking me, that when you're saying that, Zach, is the money's only been boxing a longer period of time. And we're talking about MMA. Is 20 years is nothing compared to what boxing has. So
as somebody from within the sport,
I just think it's a matter of time before the UFC takes over boxing as kind of the big money fights.
So you think UFC owns everything at some point?
Not UFC, just MMA in general.
Dana White is he just runs all of prize fighting of all kinds.
No, I don't feel that way.
Yeah, no.
Well, see, you're gonna get Shannon going with that one. Every Thursday.
No, not at all.
I guess that's my point to Shannon is somebody because Shannon's within the sport. So in her opinion, what helps, something like Invicta and all women's, mixed martial art, what helps mixed martial arts, fuck Dana White in the UFC, but what helps mixed martial arts in general get to the point where it's you've got all this money coming in, where you feel like it's something that is such a money maker that, you don't have to look in other ways to make the money?
Well, I always think, one of the things that start out saying is, more exposure, more opportunity, more for us to, a great, you really need good broadcast partners, and you need the support of others, like sponsorships and these kind of things. That is really what kind of helps elevate, and one of the, just the recognition that we're getting right now and the endorsement with Hallie is really important, because, we're getting a different set of eyes, a different audience that will be, become familiar with the brand. And I think that's big for us. Most promotions, it doesn't matter if it's boxing, MMA, what they do is they shine the light on that main event, that money maker. That's where those marketing dollars go in. Here, we try to spread the wealth, I call it, and try to treat everyone equal and kind of shine a light onto everybody. But, that is an expensive thing, to go out to camps and film and build these different assets and stuff like that. So one of the great things is, though, that women are natural born marketers. I mean, they really are, so that's amazing. They are very talented, and our athletes do an amazing job on social media and stuff like that. So
women know how to build a brand.
Because it's all women.
She's been a part of basically 2 or 3 different brands that she's basically built up, and I think Invicta's kind of in this nice little point where it's we're getting to the point where you're closing in on that one of these nice little anniversaries. I think where you're at to where you were, for those first handful of shows. I think it really shows to you and your team and everything that you guys have built so far. What I want to know, what are some lofty goals that you may have, moving forward? Obviously, you've already done a lot of great things. You've already built this thing. You're getting a lot of the exposure that that you've talked about over the years. Obviously, that this is this one here with the Bruce movie is another one of those. What's something that you would hope would happen over the next 5 to 10 years for Invicta?
I'd like to toss our hat into the boxing arena for women. That's been something that I've been eyeing for quite some time. I feel like I've come up with a formula that I think will work and shine a light on it. So, that's, opening up the different genres of combat for women is really the big goal for me anyway. Under the Invicta banner is so that we can help athletes build brands and they can cross promote in between those different, from the boxing to the MMA to maybe, Thai boxing, kickboxing, something in that genre. So yeah, that's kind of the focus and the goal eventually to be able to do that.
I mean, especially where you're seeing like we've seen obviously Pearl Gonzalez over the last year. She's going over to bare knuckle. Obviously, she said this last one was her last foray into it, but she initially left because she wanted to do boxing. But obviously, bare knuckle was the one offering her, not just the money, but the exposure. The things that we talk about is that platform. It's not just the opportunities, doing it the right way for the right money, but for the right exposure as well. You don't just go in there do something like that just for the money. There has to be things attached to it. But both of her fights were arguably the most talked about ones on that one. I kind of felt and it wasn't even like she had bad matchmaking either. I'm glad to see that. That was her last one. Hopefully, we get to see her back into some MMA soon. If she continues to stay with boxing, that'll be great too. But it's interesting to see those things happen over. And then, you have the other side of it where Amanda Serrano left her promoter and she's working with Jake Paul. Obviously, we're going to see what happens with that in 4 weeks. And, the ultimate goal is that, she wants that Katie Taylor fight is kind of that's the reason why she's doing this. Hopefully that's something that'll happen for her. But it's one of the things that you're talking about. That's why you want to throw your hat into it so fighters don't have to.
We just need some help, and that's the whole reason I, moved over from the male side. With just female athletes is, in boxing, the women need some help. They need somebody, that will roll up their sleeves, come in and fight. And I think I have that skill set. So, and I like a good fight, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah,
I think it's something you can tackle. I mean, it's hard to sit there to not say that women's boxing doesn't need help. If you have Clarissa Shields, arguably the best female boxer we've seen in 20 years, maybe even ever, is basically running to MMA and having fights in PFL, regardless if you how you feel about that. But I think that shows even more that I don't know if Shannon Knapp's the answer or Invicta's the answer, but it definitely can't hurt, and would definitely wouldn't mind to see some light shed onto some of the things that they need to kind of situate and clarify on their end.
Yeah, I think what they just need is someone to help come in and shine a light, and just kind of put the work in to help elevate it and get it some more exposure and things like that. There's a lot of talent there, and a lot of talent. Yeah, it
doesn't matter which side we're talking about. If we're talking about boxing, if we're talking about MMA, or if we're talking about just grappling more, there's always going to be talent there. It's just a matter of people going to go and find them and having the people that care about not just the athlete but the sport itself or whatever they're working with to go and give these fighters these platforms. You're somebody that has done that over the years, and I continue to look forward to see what else else you guys are getting into. It's all, no matter what it is, it's always been entertaining. So that's one of the things that I've always looked forward to. Regardless of the interchangeable names. I know one thing. Everything that you guys do is always been a bit about for the fighters and for the fans. So I can't wait to see if that's able to come into fruition.
Yeah, me too. I mean, it's not going to be for lack of trying.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like I said, I just think that they could use some assistance. And, I don't know if I'm the answer either, but it only takes one to make a difference. So
yeah, like I said, you may not be the answer, but maybe because of things that you've done can kind of push things in the direction it needs to go. That if that's all it takes, sometimes all it takes is one person that care enough to push back hard enough to say, hey, okay, something needs to happen here. That doesn't always happen that way, but it is what it is. Zach, you want to hop in here with another question, but before we get ready to let Shannon enjoy the rest of her evening?
No, I mean, I'm kind of like somebody that as like not as hardcore of an MMA guy as you are, Steven, and obviously, Shannon, you're in the sport. I'm somebody that's kind of fed up with Dana White and his just complete monopolization, I guess, of what I would call MMA. I feel like that's what he wants to do, and I would love to see.
All the time. Do you realize there's no monopolization of things when there's so many different people who are making money in the sport?
Great.
But here's the thing, they deal with the name.
Hold on, though. And Dana White hates every single one of those people and would love for every single one of them to crash and burn and go out of business, and for him to be the only one that has any type of significance.
But isn't that what every business person does? It's like, hey, great show, but when it comes down to it, F you, I want you to fail.
Stephen. Hold on. It's like Vince McMahon in pro wrestling. He doesn't want any other competition.
What was that?
We're all talking over each other.
I said Highlander. There can only be one. Yeah. I'm the Achilles heel, so don't worry.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I want Dana White looks at himself as the king of all this, right? That's Dana White. His ego. He's the king of all of it. I want him to come crashing and burning down back to reality. So fucking cool.
I mean, I like Dana. Dana's always been good to me, but I mean, we're not on the same side of the fence these days. So, I'm working. Outside from underneath, the UFC. So, but yeah, I mean, I get respect for him, but do I still think that things need to be different and there be changes and, more things run a little more fair and, stuff like that, of course,
Oh, we talk about it. I think that comes from, that's going to have to come from outside of it, I mean,
they're in the business.
Is it necessarily the I don't think it's a big change.
It's only about making money. Only about that to 95% of the people in this space. 100%. If you're not making money, you're not clicking the dollars off, you're not doing that, then they're in business, because they're in business to make money. I've been told this a million times by probably majority of all the promoters. Yeah, is even the ones I've worked for. We're in the business to make money, Shannon, that kind of thing. So
that's kind of my point with Dana is I feel like he's kind of like Vince McMahon when it comes to pro wrestling, where he would love if it was just him and there's no other competition. He's that. I think that's a great analogy. Everything in MMA and there's nobody else that matters. Obviously, there's always going to be competiters.
I think that analogy is spot on, brother. I think that analogy is spot on, and if he continues along those rides, he's going to live what Vince McMahon is living right now.
What is Vince living? I must have missed out on that.
I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about watching his brand kind of lose its popularity.
I don't know if you guys noticed this, but the talent pool is becoming younger and younger. I think they've figured out, hey, we're on ESPN now. All we got to say is they're good. Everybody believes that. We sign this younger talent, the pay ceiling lowers, and we just rotate out off the top. I don't know why anybody doesn't see that. I do. It just becomes younger and younger talent. You pay less, and they just rotate off the top of the experience.
part of that Vince McMahon thing was it got to a point where, like, like if Dana feels as if he's the king of all MMA and all of these other promotions are beneath him, he feels as if he's got the entitlement or the power to kind of treat performers, and entertainers a certain way.
Well, I mean,
which
he
is
takes
kind of
care
what,
of his
like, got Vince in
guys
the
always,
WWE in the
but-
trenches.
No,
instead of
I
making
mean, I
them-
will say that there are guys that he really has taken good care of that you don't hear about. Like, he's done good things. I mean, overall, like I said, it's a business to make money, and where our emotional side,
Sure.
I have an emotional side as well that, with compassion can cloud that judgment sometimes. We're on
But
their
he knows
side. I'm
she was
trying to
making
say
it
this
because-
very nicely.
I think
You
it's
know, she's
because at
making
the end of the day, like you still promote with your heart, not your head.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like, yeah, if I keep that athlete and I don't let that athlete go and I hang on, and I've just invested all this, I can make some money off of it. If I let him go, I'm losing money. But for me, it's different because I can't stand in front of these kids and say, listen, fight your heart out for me, but I'm going to stand in the way of your dream. I just don't think that's good business, and I don't like business like that.
I agree.
So,
But-
I mean, that's just the difference. And
I
Like I
And
said,
I guess my thing would be-
in the sport, Zach. It just if you guys wait to see what the next 10 years brings, I really don't feel how you're feeling right now is going to be even a relevant conversation.
it'll be
you
interesting.
think there's going to be enough competition and all that, and it's going to really.
I think what we see over the next 10 years is going to be really interesting. If
See,
Dana White
that's what I
UFC is
want.
the only show in town, we'll see.
I
There's a lot of
want
people spending
Dana
a lot of
White to
money.
be scared that if his best talent leaves and goes to the rival promotion,
Listen,
I'm in trouble.
I don't think it's about
They
that. I
might
just
be the
think
new
about
king.
finding the right talent and getting them under contract.
It is. And I've been in that position, in that competitive position, when I was matchmaker at Strikeforce and the heavyweight division. I mean, we surpassed, we really, really stacked that division. I mean, I've never seen a company come because, in the world of prize fighting winner, he who has the heavyweights wins. That's it. That's the way we all view
the
it.
best heavyweights wins.
Yeah. And I mean, it took
and
a
here's
good
the
year
thing.
and a half. It's
Outside of a
massive.
handful of guys, I don't think. I think the Brock era brought Dana White a whole new level of fans, and I don't think
It
people
did.
really realize that. And I think he still to this day wishes he could have gotten Brock in there with a couple of different guys.
Yeah.
I know everyone still wishes that they were able to put that Fedor fight together. If
Yeah.
that would have answered a lot of questions. That would have answered a lot of fans' questions. I mean, it's fun to kind of talk about like things that never happened, that didn't happen, that could have happened, that should have happened. Do you ever have one of those fights like regardless if it was Strikeforce or Invicta that just fell through and you wish you were able to see how that would have played out?
I have to think about that one for a minute. Yeah, I have to think.
Oh, I stumped her! Holy crap!
Yeah, there's been a few. There's just been a few over the years. I'm on the female side, I'm a little disappointed that we never got to see that Cyborg Ronda matchup before things went haywire, on both sides. But
It really was just because Ronda was just so good at getting it to the ground and getting to that position and getting that submission. So it was sickening how fast that she would get it. And Chris just had that aura with her striking. And you see what happened when she got in there with Amanda, how it went down. So it makes you think of how it would have played out. But also, I also think it got to the point where Ronda was just so mentally exhausted. Where I think she was so thankful that Amanda got her out of there because she just wanted to move on with her life.
I could see that for sure.
It's just some of the things that she would say leading up to that, and then how quickly she married Travis and started her family and things of that nature. I just think that she was looking for somebody to find a way out for her. Now, not that she didn't love MMA or competition or things of that nature, or I just kind of think like some of those girls just weren't really it, and it was, and I mean, it sucks that how things went out and we didn't get the Cyborg fight, but it happens at times, and we'll always have the what ifs. Just we were talking for how long of that we wanted to see George St. Pierre and Anderson Silva go at it for the longest time, and it could never happen. It's one of those things.
No, I mean
and then we've seen it revisited over the years, where on that now the new thing over the last few years was Khabib. Oh, we have to see that fight. I'm just interested on a lot of these upcoming class of fighters, the guys and girls that have worked through amateurs, or over the last 4 or 5 years, and now, or 15, 20 fights in their pro careers, are getting ready to kind of make these shots. Those are interesting. That, like we're talking about with the WWE, the younger talent getting paid less, phased out by the older talent. Listen, I'm looking forward to seeing some of these fighters that I've seen, work hard over the last handful of years and go out there. I was able to see, Sean Brady before he even made his professional debut. Watching him sitting there tonight, he's probably, a year, maybe even less away from a potential title fight. It's great to see. I love seeing the. As we're making fun of it here in Philly, was seeing that those flowers bloom and grow and things of that nature. I know things that you enjoy seeing. Shannon, before I get ready to kind of let you go enjoy the night, what I typically do is kind of throw it over you. Anyone you'd like to thank? Sponsors you might have you want to throw some love to, and anything you guys got going on this week that promotional wise for people to tune in for Brews and things of that nature. Just let the listeners know about now.
Okay, well, one thing we've got coming up is on November 24th is the premiere of Bruised on Netflix. So you want to join us for a watch party. It starts at 8 p.m. Central Time. So we'd love to have everybody join. We've got a panel full of current and alumni roster on the panel. So it's going to be fun. And then, of course, as always, I want to thank my athletes and all the fans and the media. We can't do it without each and every one of you.
Hey, I appreciate the shout out there for that one. I definitely appreciate the time, Shannon. I know things are always crazy at times. We don't always get things together the way they should, and both me and you go through it a lot. I appreciate your time. Definitely, definitely looking forward to have you back on here again. I'm definitely going to shoot you some locations. I want to get you all here on the East Coast of Philadelphia soon.
I'm definitely interested.
And
happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Happy Thanksgiving. I won't be back next week. It's my birthday, so I'm taking the week off.
I would too. Well, happy birthday.
How old are you now, Stephen? Like 65?
It's always a pleasure, Shannon, and you enjoy your evening, and we'll definitely be in touch, my friend.
All right, take care.
All right, everyone. That was Invicta FC CEO, President Miss Shannon Knapp. There's definitely a fun one. Did we
throw a birthday party for you, Stephen, next week?
Yeah, we are. Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna be
partying, relaxing. Happy 60th birthday or 50th or whatever you are.
This freaking guy's 60th birthday. This fucking guy. All
Happy 45th.
Well, definitely a fun one tonight, man. Shannon Knapp, I was actually able to
and the Hawks won, so I won over like $150 tonight.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, man.
There you go. So the betting stuff's got it going. We
going in the right direction now.
Sports with Shannon Knapp tonight. We were talking some college basketball and sports in general with our man Alan Foy. Talked our Eagles. Zach had his technical difficulties and got us in trouble early in the show. But other than that,
you know what? We're gonna have to have a talk with certain people involving that one, because that ain't us. How hard is it for Ralphie to stay off of NBA 2K?
That's on you. What the hell are you talking about?
How hard is it for Ralphie to stay off of NBA 2K for 5 extra minutes? I know what's going on there. I'll have to talk with him.
Horizontal attack. I talk in personal accountability, so just take this one on the chin, Mr. Burr. It's on you.
Yeah, so if you have technical difficulties, it makes you a couple minutes late. There's nothing a producer can do to make sure that you get on and everything goes live? That's nonsense.
It's not on you, Zach. Fine. It's not on Ralphie either. How about that?
Well, anyways, who's producing the show? I'm just saying.
That's a discussion for another day, another time. It's a
discussion for Tom, because Santa Tom, until he gets me my laptop for Christmas,
Zach, obviously he's got a lot to say. We'll see you in 2 weeks. I already got a guest lined up for you. another MMA fighter. But guess what? We got a couple guests lined up for December already. So have fun. Make sure you guys are subscribed. Make sure you guys are a premium member. I got some fun stuff for you guys in December. Make sure we're getting some more subscribers because we got about 200, I think, subscribers to go before we hit 7. If we hit it before the end of the month, I'm going to throw something else in on top of the LeGarrette Blount jersey we'll be giving away in December. And let's not forget the money pot guys and the betting stuff. You just heard Zach. He just made $150 on it.
Yeah.
We'll see you next.
I've got
we'll see you
multiple
guys
people.
over here.
Yes. You're never going to go wrong following the Money Pot podcast, guys. Never.
Never doing anything over here at A2D. You gotta. If you're not here for us, you're here for the rest of the fam. Other than that, we'll be back in 2 weeks. I'll see you.